Welcome to another episode of Unlocking the Mind Behind Make More, Work Less. Hi, my name is Fong. I'm an entrepreneur, business strategist, real estate investor, speaker, and also a best-selling author. And every single day, I help others unlock the potentials and guide them to succeed. Today on Unlocking the Mind, we talk about another cognitive bias. And the reason why I do this show is so that we can better understand how our minds work, how we can make better decisions, how we can negotiate better, how we can build better relationships, and sometimes how we can prevent ourselves from falling into certain cognitive traps. For today's theme on cognitive biases, my question to you is, do you believe you are a better driver than the average person? Do you believe that you are better ethically than the average person or your peers? Would you say that you're probably in the top 10% of the people in ethics? Well, more likely than not, you probably said yes. More likely than not, you believe that you are a better driver than your peers or the average person. And more often than not, you probably believe that you are morally and ethically better than the other people around you. Now, these surveys has been done. In fact, 93% of the people that's been polled have believed that they are a better driver than the average person. That's not statistically better. That's not statistically possible. Also, over 50% of the people believe that they are a better morally and also higher ethically than their peers. In fact, most of these people believe that they are in the top 10% of the people when it comes to ethics. So why is this? Well, that's because of the overconfidence effect. And this is where there's a tendency where people have on their being more confident in their own abilities and their decision making than it is objectively reasonable. So the reason is we believe that because we're morally and ethically better than the average person, then when we're faced with a situation, a decision, or an action, or something that we have to decide on, we believe that we would probably make a better decision or that our decision is correct. Now, here's some examples. Do you believe that you are a better eyewitness than your average peers? You probably believe that you can probably spot out certain intricacies and certain details at a crime scene better than somebody else if you were asked to be an eyewitness. Would you believe that you could buy a better house than your peers and your friends? Do you believe that if you were to screen tenants, you probably find the best tenants in the world? Well, more likely than not, you probably say yes, because we have this overconfidence feel about our decision making and our judgment. However, being overconfident can actually have a positive and a negative scenario that comes out of it. Being overconfident might make us believe that we can make better decisions and also faster decisions and also take certain actions that feed that overconfidence. And that might eventually lead to certain negative effects. For instance, when Enron was having issues and when there's little bits of details that came out saying that, hey, there's a problem with Enron, people were starting to make all these decisions and that they were actually pushing that ethical boundary that they would not have crossed normally to actually sustain that overconfidence promise that they ever promised before. A lot of people also will do certain things to justify their overconfidence or justify the decisions they made. There's a story out there where a person was so overconfident about doing well on an exam that once they got to the bathroom, they were like, oh no, what if I can't do this? They went into the stalls and tried to find out if there's any answers taped up on the stalls and the walls and all that kind of stuff, where normally this person wouldn't do that because morally they know that that would be cheating. However, because they were so overconfident to begin with, they decided, you know what, I need to sustain that level of promise to myself to make sure I do well in this exam. So they stretch that ethical boundary a little bit and go and find out if there's answers taped somewhere. Sometimes we might go, you know what, I'm the best person at finding a tenant, and therefore every time I find a tenant, I go, yeah, that person's approved. But then when that tenant doesn't turn out very good, you try to prolong that decision. You try and prolong the stay of that tenant, ensuring that person will be successful because you believe that you made the right decision at the very beginning. However, the longer you prolong that tenant to be at your property, the more that you lose money because they're either not paying rent or they're causing problems with other people in the place. And you just don't want to admit that your original overconfident decision was actually wrong. So it can lead to a lot of negative effects and lots of negative outcomes if you're overconfident. However, it could be very, very positive as well. Because if you're overconfident, you're most likely not going to come up with goals that are a little bit higher than normal, a little bit higher than being conservative. And sometimes when you set higher goals, you actually stretch yourself to perform even better. You stretch yourself to achieve more results. And even though if you don't reach that high goal of overconfidence that you actually set out for yourself at the beginning, you actually achieve something more than what you would have achieved if you set a very conservative goal. So the thing is, sometimes being overconfident is great because it stretches your abilities, it stretches your confidence, it stretches your performance to be a little bit more than what you're comfortable with, to be a little bit more to do with what you're typically going to get results with. So for instance, let's say if you were going to go and have a result of, I want 10 properties by the end of 2021 or 10 properties by the end of the year, and you never have gotten any properties before. A conservative person might go, you know what, I'm going to go and have a goal of 1 property at the end of the year. Well, they achieve that goal and then go, I'm done. I achieved my goals. But the person who was pushing themselves to make 10 properties a year may have gotten 5, 6, maybe 7 properties by the end of the year. They may not have reached their 10 property goal, but they've over exceeded and well beyond what they would have done if they were conservative, getting just 1 property. So being able to have that overconfidence sometimes is good. So how do we mitigate the negativity results or the negative results? Well, the thing is, what you can do is take a step back and do your due diligence. Do your research, do your data searching, do your questioning and your assessments with other people. Bounce your ideas, bounce your decision making with other people who has been there and done that, so that you can get as much data, as much information as you can, so that you're not setting yourself to fail, so that you're not setting yourself to have that negative income. And then basically set yourself up to achieve that overconfident result as best as you can. Thing is, sometimes because of that overconfidence, we underestimate the time and the efforts that we need to put in. That's why talking to other people would be great. For instance, if somebody goes, you know what, I can finish writing a chapter in a book for, let's say, in 10, 15 minutes. Well, maybe because you're overconfident. If you're asking people who has written chapters before, it might take them 1 or 2 hours. So you might want to stretch that out a little bit and adjust your decision making. So that is overconfidence, and that is how you can mitigate the negative effects of overconfidence effect. Now, if you like this episode, please go back to watch some of our other episodes on unlocking the mind. And if you like this show, please go to the Peak Potential Success Show, the Make More Mind Bites, and also the Master Mind Bites that comes up every single week. And also, I would love, love, love for you to like, subscribe, and also comment. I love seeing those comments, and thank you all for your supports throughout this period of time. So until next time, today is the day to unlock your peak potential. We'll see you later.